say he's a technical whiz. Some say he was born in Cornwall, while some say he's on a journey. It's The Journey, and here's your host, David Hackett.
Hi everyone, David here with another journey, and a journey that is close to my heart. One, because I know how this subject is, and two, because this person decided to go on a similar journey. And as the notes go from what he sent me, he was born in Israel, moved to Germany in search of job opportunities, and in March 2021, a sales expert by trade, Erez Agam released his first book titled Berlin's Immigration Secrets. The book is about an immigration procedure that appears to be a breeze at first, but gradually becomes a miserable experience for migrants. Berlin's Immigration Secrets will give readers the information they need to succeed, and we will hear his journey right now. Welcome to The Journey.
Thanks, David. Awesome to be here.
Thank you. So, going back, it said he was born in Israel. We understand that. What made you move from Israel to Germany? Because you said you moved to Germany and you are now based in Germany.
Yeah. So it was a combination of reasons, first of all. I was born there. I was, from a young age, I had this dream of what it's like. I always thought what it's like to live elsewhere. How is it going to be with a different atmosphere? I never actually felt belong there. I don't like my native country because of multiple reasons, but I wanted to seek a better life, a better future. And when you live in a political in the Middle East, where you have lots of political tensions, and you are being forced to join the army, and then after that there is no employment stability, and the cost of living is very, very high. Then you don't see your future there, and so on one hand, I had this dream about me want to immigrate, and on the other hand, I didn't see any future in my native country. And then I started to research, David, and I read a lot about the topic of immigration. I like always adventures. I like to see stuff. I like to explore different experiences, and there I was looking for my destination, my immigration destination. And after I've been doing my research, after a depth study, I chose to immigrate to Germany. But why, you may ask? Growing up as an Israeli, I was exposed to a negative attitude toward Germany because of the whole Holocaust. The main reason was the Holocaust, obviously. Being what happened to the Jews of Europe throughout the 20th century, the lack of openness of my surroundings toward Germany at that time, and the whole situation, what happened in World War II during the 20th century. So growing up in my native country, I heard a lot of negative stuff about Germany. You got to remember that during the 80s, Germany was still divided between West and East, and it was a completely different countries than the Germany that you see today. But things have changed dramatically over the last 2 decades. Germany opened up, and more immigrants moved there. And after I've been doing my research, these were the main fourth reasons that I chose to immigrate to Germany.
Mm.
So number one, the low cost of living and the apartment rents. So while other major cities in the world, I'm sure you know, they have a very high cost of living. Berlin's cost of living is considered to be a reasonable one. Even though now prices are rising all over the world, and Berlin is getting more and more capitalistic. It's still we're talking about reasonable prices if you compare those prices to other major cities such as London, New York, or any other major city in the world today. The second reason, David, was a strong economy and a low crime rate. I'm sure you must heard that Germany has the strongest economy in Europe. Therefore, it provides very good conditions and benefits for its residents and citizens. You have employment stability. And I always like the fact that it combines a social economy model with a capitalistic one. So this model of the social economic model, it can be seen also in many Scandinavian countries like Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland. So I really like this model because it's not 100% capitalistic, and it provides you more benefits as a resident.
Yeah.
So the third reason was my possession of an Israeli passport, and I'll explain that. So after I've been doing my research, David, I found out that Germany allows Israelis to search for job opportunities within its borders without requiring a specific visa to do so. So I knew in case I will find a job there, I will be able to stay and do the whole bureaucratic procedures from within German borders without me leaving the country for visa purposes. And for the viewers / listeners that are with us today, in case I want you to know, in case you are citizens of the following countries, you also have the option to arrive into German borders without a visa and to do the procedure from within. Those countries are United States, Canada, Israel, Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, Japan, and South Korea. UK was added recently due to the whole Brexit situation. Before that, the UK citizens were able to enter German borders without and start to work there immediately if they found a job. Things have changed now, and due to the Brexit, UK considered to be a privileged country, so they need a visa too. So that's the case now. And the fourth reason was my desire to study a new language. As I told you before we even launched this cast now. I had a desire to study a new language. For many immigrants, learning the new language is a difficult task. But I was actually intrigued by that. I was fascinated by that. I think German language is one of the most beautiful languages in the world. And that's what caused me to immigrate to Germany.
Yeah, so you're saying about the stability of Germany in recent years, it's been a lot better. Would you, and I normally don't go political, but this is a political question, would you say it is the basis of the German party in government has made it stable in recent years?
Well, I think it's more of more political, if you know what I mean, and I'll explain. So, let's analyze what happened during a certain period of time. All right. So, after the World War II, Germany was divided, obviously, between East and West. We had the Cold War, and really the country was starting to rebuild itself. It still was not considered to be, by all means, an immigration destination. People were wanted to forget everything that happened during the World War II. So many people actually left Germany after after World War II, and then things have changed after 1981, when the Berlin Wall fell, and the end. It was the end of the Cold War, and Germany opened. We're starting to rebuild itself all over again, and because it was divided between East and West, the East side was more communist side. They actually had the idea of socialism. That's why when West Berliners reunited with the East Berliners, there was still a gap between standards of living. So that's why it took time until now it's more accelerated. The whole capitalistic system is more accelerated, but even now you still have the influence of the East. That's why you have this model that combines between a social model and and capitalistic model. And this is what happened. This is why the prices stay the same. While in other cities such as London, New York, every major city out there, the prices were actually skyrocketing. So here, I guess the stage is different. So, and that's why actually a lot of immigrants come to Germany, because they want to enjoy this model. They want to have stability. You still have rights as a salaried employee. You still have rights if you rent an apartment. So they really take care of you as an individual, and that's why if you work in a company, you have contract, you have rights, you have work council. A company cannot do whatever it wants. So you have regulations, you have rights, and that's I think what attracts many foreigners to Germany.
Yeah. So, how many years have you been in Germany now yourself?
5.5, almost.
So you have seen a change in that 5.5 years since being in Germany as well.
Well, I saw that the change that I saw was the pricing, the prices change. Let's say this. I remember when I came, prices were still very, very reasonable. Now they're starting to increase all over again. So now the renting prices increased dramatically. This was the change that I've noticed that was happening during, let's say, from I think 2018, 2019, it started.
So it makes sense on the basis of recent events. So going to your book now, you started writing this book, and I love writing books and poetry myself, so I understand how it is. How long did it take you to research the stuff, information for your book?
So the book, the thing is, I didn't intend to write the book, but then, as I went through my immigration journey, I gained lots of knowledge, knowledge that cannot be found in any other source, not even in an immigration attorney's office. And then at some point, I thought to myself, this information is a very, very valuable information, because if somebody would like to immigrate to Germany, it's going to be very, very helpful for him if if he had like a guide, a source that he can use. And in addition to that, the journey was very, very emotional for me. And it actually describes everything that occurred to me as I arrived to Germany with nothing but a suitcase. So it shows you everything, how I started from scratch and the difficulties I had to overcome. And that's why I think it's a very, very good source, because people tend to think that they cannot immigrate because, for example, they do not have a European passport, or because they are not married to a German person, or because they don't have the right profession or the right skills. But nothing cannot be far, nothing can be far from the truth, because you see, I during my journey, I saw many immigrants from all over the world. Many of them didn't have any European passport. Some of them did not have even a formal education, and but they all had this one thing in common, and that thing, I call it the immigration spirit. The immigration spirit is the character that you need in order to go through an immigration procedure. The sparkle that you have within you, the motivation that you have within you, the character that you need to have as an immigrant, and this is the key. This is the most important tool that will help you, your character and your perseverance. This is what will help you to achieve your immigration dream at the end.
Yeah, I understand that, because, as you know, I immigrated from the UK to America, and I had that spirit with, being positive and everything during the immigration process. Now, towards the end, before they said, yes, you can immigrate to America, I was having doubts, because I was thinking, A, I haven't got much money. B, I'm worried about past events that have happened in my life that could hold me back. And C, I was always so used to living in the UK. I was always dependent on my own country. The furthest I've been on holiday in my life is Greece, but that was only for 2 weeks. I came to America initially before my immigration started, yes, to meet my, spouse. I got married to her in that time, and I liked it, but I didn't expect myself to say, yes, I can do it. I thought in my mind I could do it, but there was the element that was holding me back. So that holding me back was not majorly blocking my mindset. It was just scary, because it was a new experience. And to leave my friends, previous work colleagues, family, even though, and I will say this openly, even though my mum doesn't talk to me, 3,500 miles I came, and I'm now in America, and I've been here ever since.
Yeah, so you're bringing up a very, very important point, which I also mentioned in my book, and that point is to step out of your comfort zone. Yeah. Because when you have your routine life, when you have your family, when you already establish yourself in your native country, it's going to be tremendously hard to step out of that comfort zone to the unknown. And I actually read an article recently about immigration, and actually, what you maybe you're not going to believe it, but more than 80% of the world population, 80% of people will not leave their native countries to move elsewhere. More than 80%. And on top of that, the majority of those 80%, the majority will stay to live in their hometown, their neighborhood where they grew up. So it just showed you how people are scared of the unknown. They are scared of taking risks. They're scared of taking adventures. But the only way that you will be able to succeed is to step out of your comfort zone. There is no other way, basically.
I agree.
Because people say, hey, I don't want to move to another country. Maybe there's a risk, but I'm always asking, what's the risk? It's not like you're investing money. You're moving elsewhere. Of course, there will be some difficulties, but you're not risking anything. You'll only experience new. You're going to experience new life, new adventure. You're going to live a better life. There's no risk. There's only you can only gain from it.
Yeah, and from my experience, going back to the immigration, when I realised I was coming here, I thought new experiences, new life, new beginnings, new friends, new challenges, because that's how I see it. It is a challenge. But the biggest challenge since coming to America and up till last May, I had no employment. I'm not saying I relied on my spouse intentionally, but I relied on her to keep me clothed, to keep me nourished, to keep me in having a roof over my head. So I relied on her. And then last May, I finally found a job after 3 years it was nearly 3 years, after nearly 3 years living in America. And that was the biggest challenge of all since being in America, was finding employment. Now, when I did start my employment, it was on a part-time basis, which they said part-time working up to full-time. So it was part-time, but I was working full-time hours. And then it got taken over by another company and they employed me full-time. So now I'm doing 40 hours a week and I'm earning a wage. I'm paying back for what I did, for I justified when I first came to America. I'm paying back, saying, thank you, this is what I would do for you. And that is what, and I was saying this in the loosest way possible, that is what most legal immigrants want to do. They go to a country, if they get a job, and they're lucky to have a job, that's their way of saying, thank you for having me in your country. If that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it really depends what your purpose is. I mean, some come to study, some come to work. Some artists, they can gain artist visas. Some I also state every visa that you can gain in Germany. So some have the working holiday visa, which is for young people who would like to live abroad for a year. So it really depends. What are you going to do in your destination? Are you going to work there? Are you going to study? Maybe are you going to be a freelancer? There is also a freelance visa. So I think it's really, really important to ask yourself, what is it that I'm aiming for? I'm going to work. I'm going to be in a company. I'm going to be a freelancer. I'm going to study. Those questions are important because then you'll be able to navigate better your strategy toward your immigration goal.
Yeah.
And since you have different types of visas, obviously.
Yeah. Like the visa I came under was spousal visa. The work, luckily, doesn't cover the fee. I can work under that visa, so it was an option. But I chose to work because, I'm not saying this in the harsh way against myself, but I'm not the one to sit down on like I am now and do nothing. Yes, I started the podcast series about the journey, and everyone's journey is different. But that's a sideline. That's something for me to just do something quietly and inspire people. Yes, I inspire people at work, but at the same time, in my job, I can only inspire people when I talk to them. I can't sit down with them and say, tell me about you, because the politics of work, everyone's for themselves, and it shouldn't be that way. But it is, as all jobs are. That is how it is. So the friends I made through work, they're just work friends. They're not friends I associate with outside work. I'm not saying that disrespectfully against them, but they're just work friends. Now, I got my, partner, my wife. She does most things, and I support what she does. She supports what I do. So my way of saying my visa now is not a spousal visa, it's the same thank you visa, because you allowed me to be in the country, you allowed me to be doing this, and I'm happy. Thank you. So that's why I call it a thank you visa. So that's my life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess every time that a person will choose an immigration destination, he will realize that at some point that he's going to the unknown. He's going to step out of his comfort zone. He's going to the unknown, and the question is, once again, how do you deal with difficulties? How do you deal with the uncertainty? And what is the price that you're willing to pay in order to achieve your goal? Because as you know, you need to make lots of sacrifices, and you need to work hard, and you need to be focused in order to stay in that new destination. But of course, according to my experience, it gets easier over time. You always has those tasks, small tasks, immigration tasks. I call them steps. You can call them. So each step is making it easier on that procedure. Each and every goal that you achieve, small goal, small target, will bring you closer to the final goal, whether it's a permanent residency or citizenship at the end. So yeah, I mean, the journey is going to be is not going to be easy, but it's get easier with time as you go through it.
Yeah, and you probably heard of the analogy, where they say the road is never straightforward. It's always got loads of twists and turns. And I assume that is how it was for you as well. It wasn't easy for you at the beginning. It was a lot difficult until you started adapting. I think is the word to use. You adapted to the situation and you worked.
Exactly. So you need to be very flexible. You need to know that everything can change immediately, and once again, you need to assess all over again your situation. You need to act accordingly, and you need to keep going no matter what. That's the way I see it. And I think now the world is changing now more than ever, because people tend to immigrate more than ever. I mean, take a look at the world right now. Refugees. You can find refugees from Syria, from Afghanistan. People are leaving their native countries, those refugees, because of hard circumstances, and they all moving to new destinations. By the way, many of them want only to immigrate to Germany because of the facts that I stated earlier. So they see it as their future. And that's why they are coming to Europe, and those refugees coming to Europe, and from there they want to immigrate to Germany. But regardless of the refugee situation, even expats, regular people who come from Western countries, they all want to change. They all want to immigrate. I think we are living in an era that immigration is booming now. Immigration, relocation. I think it's because of the fact that we have knowledge all around us. We have technology, we consume knowledge, and then we can make better decisions. So I guess information is open for everyone. That's why they can calculate and reach better decisions, and build their life more secure than ever. And that's why I think because of technology, because of the modern world that we live in, it's easier to immigrate now than it used to be.
More accessible, would you say? More accessible than it was?
Yeah, exactly. Accessible. You have more knowledge. You have more technology. You can consult with people. You can. I mean, it's easy to do it now, I guess, because of the knowledge that you have all around you, and that's why I think people are moving. Companies, take a look at what's happening in companies all over the world. They tend to hire people from abroad, and so they are willing to provide sponsorship to those new foreigners. So companies are starting to realize that if they want to have the best employees, they better start to open up the positions for everyone all over the world. Because if you are a business owner and you need like a special IT guy or an app developer, and it's a bit hard for you to find that guy in your native country, you're going to hire a person that lives in another country. So I guess because of the technology, because of the modern world that we live in, people are immigrating and relocating more than ever.
Yeah. So where would people be able to get your book to read this amazing way of understanding immigration to Germany?
So the book itself is available on Amazon, all of Amazon's region. You can purchase both the Kindle version, the paperback version. I think it's very, very easy to read, fun, enjoyable. You get a better perspective about what is immigration, what does it take to immigrate, how to immigrate. Everything is being answered in the book. Bureaucratic procedures, everything from scratch. And that's why it's the ultimate immigration guide for every immigrant out there.
Okay. So last question. What advice would you give, and I'll say, to potential people wanting to leave their country to go to another country?
Well, I can ask you the same thing, by the way, after that. But for me, I guess once again, prepare yourself. Read information about that specific destination. So if you, David, know that you want to immigrate to the US, read information about the US. For a person who wants to immigrate to Germany, he should read the policies and everything that has to do with the immigration policies regarding Germany. Consume every piece of information that you can. Go online, read articles, read books, go to YouTube's, watch videos, every piece of information that you can get. The more information you have, the better. Even speak with a person that is already there and doing the immigration process. Maybe finish this immigration process already in that destination. So you get to have a better perspective. That's number one. So information. Second, prepare yourself financially. Come with savings. You may find a job after 2 months. You may find a job after 8 months, but you need savings for sure. Take money with you. Otherwise, you will not be able to support yourself financially in that destination. Things they tend to change all the time. The third one is the right mental state. You need to know exactly what you're getting into. You need to know that you're going to go through tough times. Either way, you just come prepared mentally, and that there is no risk at the end. You gain experiences. You need to know that immigration is when you leave your native country in order to live in another country permanently for a lifetime. So be prepared for that. Be prepared to do that change. Stay in contact with your family, your parents. Those are the key factors, and have the immigration spirit, have that motivation, that sparkle in your eyes. That's what I would suggest to every person who would like to immigrate.
Yeah. Now I will go on to my, how I do it. It's like, be strong, be you, believe in yourself, and never stop believing, because if you do, you will hit stumbling blocks, you will hit problems, and it will be difficult to, not saying difficult to get into that country, but just believe that you can do it. Turn to people you can rely on and ask them to support you, ask them for love, guidance, whatever you want to describe it as. Because at the end of the day, you've got to have the right people behind you to support you. You don't want people to be against you. You want people to support you and understand you for moving for the purposes you choose, whether it's work, whether it's being with a spouse. I will say, and it's not being nasty against any of my past friends or anything, but some of them did have concerns. At the end of the day, I wanted them to support me. I think when I did leave England, I only had support from 3 genuine people. And even though, and my wife now, but she was in America already. She's American. So I only relied on FaceTime. I didn't rely on her to come and hold my hand and say, it's okay. I just had her on the phone every day saying, it's okay, you're going to be okay. I saw those 3 friends. One I saw once a week, and the other 2 I saw in the end. I think I kept seeing them twice a week before for every week I was still there. And they kept saying, believe in yourself. We know you can do it. We know you will be there. We support you. You will be good out there. It'll be the best thing happening to you. So let that sort of words, from my point of view, and your words combined, motivate someone to be strong and say, yes. So
I think myself, during the immigration process, you'll meet nice people, you meet less nice people. Appreciate those who will help you. Appreciate them. I always remember those who helped me during my immigration process. I will never forget them. And they are. You cannot forget somebody who helped you during the journey. It's not possible, and appreciate them, because when you see a person in tough situation, then when you get your stability, you will have that. You'll help that person, because you remember what you've been through when you started your journey.
Yeah, totally. I'd like to thank you for sharing your journey, and I will make sure the link and description of your books are in the down below, and wherever it is read, so mainly down below. But thank you for sharing your journey with us today. It has been a pleasure. Keep up the good work, and let's hope I'll talk about immigration as a whole from both sides of the coin, both European and into America, into Germany, wherever it works out for that person.
Thanks a lot, David. I really appreciate it. And I wish you good luck with your immigration journey. I'm sure it's going to be very exciting for you. And but I'm sure you're going to be successful.
Well, next step for me is what they told me, which would be good for me, is to be a permanent resident of the United States.
Yeah.
So that's my next target.
You'll get there for sure.
Thank you.
Anytime.
That was The Journey, hosted by Wise Words Imaging, hosted by David Hackett, produced by Melissa Hackett. Be sure to like, subscribe and listen to another journey coming soon.